Hey, what's up, guys? I want to start out by saying thank you for watching the 5-minute video yesterday down at the river. Appreciate all the feedback we got from that. We're going to try to do these every day. This afternoon, just down here at the little fish pond behind the house, trying to catch me a few brim to go set out some bush hooks tomorrow night. But anyway, I want to talk to you about trials and tribulations. This life we live in, it's not a bed of roses. We wish that we didn't have to face battles and we didn't have to face things, but we do have to face them. A lot of people's got in their mind that once you get saved that life's perfect. How great that would be. But that's not the case. The reason being, the Bible says that when sin came into the world, came trials. Because of sin came tribulation, came death, came sorrow, and along with sin came battles. And we're in the midst of a big battle right now, one nobody in my generation has ever faced. It's one of those that kind of caught us off by surprise. And, in the Bible, 2 Chronicles, King Jehoshaphat was going through a battle. The Bible tells us that 3 wicked kings got together, and those 3 wicked kings was going to come against Jehoshaphat, God's people. And I'm going to read to you out of 2 Chronicles chapter 20, verse 3 and 4. It says, "And Jehoshaphat feared, and he set himself to seek the Lord. And he proclaimed a fast throughout all Judah. So Judah gathered together to ask help from the Lord, and from all the cities of Judah they came to seek the Lord." Now, friend, what I can tell you is Jehoshaphat was in the midst of a battle, and right now where you're at, you're either in the midst of a battle, you're either emerging from a battle, or you're fixing to head into a battle. That's just life. That's where we're at. That's the way it is. And when Jehoshaphat was coming under attack, he done the only thing that he could do. Jehoshaphat, it said he feared. Jehoshaphat was scared. And friend, let me tell you something. In these battles we're in, there's nothing wrong with being afraid. We should be afraid to a certain point, because a lot of these battles, there's nothing we can do. We can't win these battles on our own, and we can only do one thing, and that's what King Jehoshaphat done. That was trust the Lord. But he didn't just go by himself. The Bible says he called on all Judah. And all the people of Judah gathered together, and they began to fast, and they began to pray, and they began to seek the Lord out, and seek the Lord's help. And that's what we need to be doing today, is seeking the Lord's help with all we can. Now, Jehoshaphat faced 3 wicked kings, and friend, you and I also face 3 wicked kings every day. It's sin, sorrow, and death. We're going to face them. But when we do face them, James chapter 1 verse 2 says this, says, "Brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. But let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing." A friend, James tells us in the midst of these trials not to poke our lip out and complain, and not let the sorrow or the fear overwhelm us. He said, understand this, that when you're going through a battle, that's when you draw closer to the Lord. When God allows these battles to come, he doesn't allow these battles to come to hurt you. He brings these or allows these battles to happen in our lives to draw us near to him and to build up our faith. Friend, if we never had any problems, we wouldn't have a very strong faith. It's in times like these when we're helpless and our hands seem to be tied, and the only thing that we have is Jesus. That's when our faith builds, and that's when we become stronger in our faith and stronger in our walk with God. The problem is most of us want to use God as a spare tire instead of using God as the steering wheel. We don't want to use God until we have a blowout, and then we want to cry out to God to come and save us, and come to help us, and come to fix the situation we're in. Friend, what we're in is in a midst of a big battle right now. And if you're honest with yourself, the times that you're the closest to God is when you're going through things. because those things cause us to stop, just like this old coronavirus has done. It's caused us to stop and think. And when we look around and we see the death that's taking place because of it, we see the rising of the positive, the test that's coming back positive, and we're seeing the number of the people that's contracted this disease growing, and it strikes fear within our hearts. And friend, that's when we draw on the Lord. That's when we draw closer to Him, and we seek Him out. So I just want to encourage you today to do that in the midst of whatever battle you have. And it's not just the coronavirus we're battling. You may be having family troubles, marital troubles, trouble with your kids, financial troubles. Maybe you're just personally battling and going through something. Draw near to God. Draw to the feet of Jesus and let God speak to you, and trust in Him and follow Him in everything that you do. There's one thing that I've learned. God is the closest to us when we're in agonizing prayer, when we're on our face and we have nothing left to do but just to cry out to Jesus. God bless you. I love you. Appreciate you. Thank you for listening. And just ask you tonight, as you start to bed, take some time to pray. Cry out to God. Draw closer to God. Not only pray for you, your family, lift me up, lift my family up, lift our community up, lift up those, the nurses, the doctors, the first responders, our law enforcement, our fire departments, all these people that are on the front line battling these viruses. Lift them up and ask God to protect them. And I love you, appreciate you, look forward to seeing you tomorrow on the Aldermahaw River.